Alright, hey guys, Fitz back here for another video, in another series that's going to be up really quick. So I just want to quickly talk about this. This is going to be, series number 4 of the series. So I just want to, of series 4 of this match between SAS and Reps, Division A team for the semifinals of Season 20 of Clan League for iCup. Anyway, I just want to talk about this real quick. This series, just like Series 1, there must have been a Game 1 that was played on Bloody Ridge. That's all I can tell you. It's literally all I can tell you. I don't know who won. I have no idea. But I'm just going to assume that... I guess I was wrong about loser picks, because every single second game that's been played on Fighting Spirit, I have to assume. I'll double check with admins for next season and the finals for tomorrow, but I believe these are not I thought they weren't static maps, but I guess they are. So we'll see. But there may be only one replay. There may be 2. I don't know. So we'll just have to find out. I just want to talk about that real quick. And we should have the A-OK to go. Now, of course, as we don't know, I cannot actually add in whoever won. So what I'll do is I'll add the win after whoever wins this game, because it just crosses of elimination if there's a game 3. If there isn't a game 3, then we just don't have to worry about it. But alright, anyway, spotting here in the top left as the teals, there will be SAS.vOrti here, and his opponent will be Largo, our Reps Largo here. So Largo, if I remember correctly, I've casted him. I don't know why I've casted both these players before. And again, all these players are really high level. There's really, I mean, even when we go back down to, oh fudge, what was his name? That's why I'm so bad with names. The Protoss and the PvP that showed us really disappointing play. That person. Oh, this is gonna kill me. This is actually gonna kill me. Hold on. This is actually going to kill me if I don't know this. Let me go reference this real quick. Let me go see here. It's in here. Alright, let's see. I know you guys can't see full screen. Lockdog, I'm sorry. I knew that. It just took me half a second. Lockdog, anyway. Even this is an offline recording, I still had to do that. Yeah, Lockdog, he really showed some disappointing play, but I just want to let you know that these players are not bad. Some of them may not be showing their optimal capabilities, but they are very high level, and I'll tell you why for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're in the semifinals of Clan League. They're in Division A alone, which is fantastic for them. No, did I tell you they're in the semifinals? And generally, they're highly rated clans. I mean, even Noob's team, who... Or I believe that made it, or the new team, that their new team name, which I don't know their name to, but anyway, the point of what I'm trying to say is that these guys are really high level, and even Noob's team got sponsored. It's just like that's how high level these guys are. I mean, maybe one team's way higher ranked than the other, but that's still not to say that they're like top 1% of players in the Brood War community. Maybe like top 10, because like there aren't that many people in Brood War, but still. Alright, so anyway, getting back to the point here. We do have a pool coming down, so with hatch before pool build, it was 12 hatch into 12 pool, and then he just redroned back up. So, more of an econ style, it's Fighting Spirit anyway, so I mean, it's to be expected. Of course, if you go back to my previous cast, and I will always say it, I hate casting Fighting Spirit, especially Protoss versus Terran. Now, with higher league games, you tend to get less like generic. Sometimes you get some more quirky, play. Oh, that was a nice little micro right there, by the way, if you saw that. But nice play by Vorti. But I absolutely just cannot cast this map anymore. I'm so sick of it. There's like 50 other iCup maps that we could be casting, but no one plays on them. Except for like body or map of the week, MOTW, and even those are really even played. And I don't know, quite honestly though, like I remember when I was like on the forums a lot active on the iCup ones. I still go back there every now and then, but there like we had like 4 or 5 comments on there that were literally just bitching about like how the map of the week kept on changing, which of course is map of the week. But apparently I guess players just don't want to like learn other maps, which is. I feel like it can sometimes take out the fun out of Brood War. Why? I mean, if high-level players can do it and still play, you know, macro games, on, I don't understand why everyone else can't. But it's just, I don't know. Anyway, we have a couple links. By the way, I want to let you know that Largo actually is getting a really nice scout off, and it's looking more like 3-hatch meatless, which is very, very standard against Terran. The second gas should be optimized sooner or later, but he doesn't have layer up yet, so I'm assuming once layer is started, maybe halfway done, Vespian gas will be taken. I don't know the exact timings of this, but it's shaping up to be 3-hatch something. It could be Lurker. I mean, that's more for like defensive Zerg, and I don't know, I feel like even if you went like 3-hatch Lurker, I just feel like it just generally isn't as strong, because Lurkers are really good defensive for like the early mid game, because there isn't too much to really stop them from going up ramp. So like if you were to go take a far off third base real quick and then quickly tech into Lurkers, you can put Lurkers here, and there's really not much Terran can do about that super early on. They can scan. They always have protection, unless they're going for super early science missile, which it actually appears like it's going mech, actually. So Largo's actually not even going to play standard Terran versus Zerg. He's actually going to go mech instead of bio, which is totally fine. It's viable, and actually, this is actually very interesting, because Largo, again, like, you tend to go mech in lower leagues as it's easier to control, but I guess this just might be a playstyle choice. But anyway, there's a lot of links coming out, and I mean a lot of links. There is speed done. He may just go for a run by here. How will react? He's coming up his SCV, his best of his ability here. It looks like that bunker will not fall with. Oh, it does. Will this just be game right here? If he continues to reinforce this, he may just be able to get through. But there are two. He's actually doing a really, really nice job of blocking this up with SCVs right here. But the Leagues are finally just trying to get down to the vultures, but slow vultures versus speedlings are not really good. And oh my god. Is he gonna continue to follow this up? No, he just got drone. That's interesting. I guess he just wants to make sure he can get his spire up, and I believe I saw the extractor being, the extractor's done. So yeah, selfish shaping to be 3-edge meatless right here. But will this distract him enough not to get an eBay or Goliath out? Now this mech can kind of go in either or. It can kind of be more of like a traditional Terran versus Protoss mech, where you get a lot of like vultures and tanks and stuff. Or it can be more of like a or Terran versus Zerg kind of mech, where you just get like a mofo amount of Goliath, and that's more just to like hard counter mealisks, or the best of your ability to hard counter early game mealisks. And again, it's kind of like shaping up to be like a lesser tier Terran that tends to do this kind of style. It's viable. It's just that in the higher leagues where you tend to be better control, just a better rounded player in general, you don't need Goliath with their super insane range to really deal with meatless that effectively. But we do have a vulture run by here, which will definitely probably even up these Harvester's lost. Maybe even much more, as the Sunken's just not in position. I don't know why it's so far out either, and I don't even know why it's bizarre actually. That wall up's really bizarre, because that should be inside here, which I don't understand why, but yeah, this is actually a very interesting style that Largo is deciding to go, especially at this tier of a level. But anyway, now talking about the lurkers again, the reason why I say meatless is, well, one, there's a spire out, and two, that, well, meatless aren't even being spawned, which is beyond what I guess it's just more or less because he's committed so much to Goliath, and I believe Hydra aren't terrible against them. Again, I haven't really seen them pitted up against each other, but I believe because of the amount of Hydra that are out, and the Hydra upgrades that are being researched, and probably not Lurker Tech, which is not done yet, I don't think it's going that. So anyway, the reason why I'd say Lurkers are not going to be viable is because, well, this base should be taken if he's going to go 3-hatch Hydra anyway, Lurkers. Wow. And the reason for that is Lurkers are really, really good early mid-game because there isn't going to be much detection. And what this allows it to do is that they can allow them to get like a 4 bases really quick, which is thus 4 base Turtle Surge. But with this kind of style, I don't think it's actually. I think this is a smarter move to go 3-hatch meatless. And 3-hatch meatless isn't like all in by any means. It's just there's just not as much of a. It's not as bad as 2-hatch meatless. You have more of an economy to it. You definitely have more of. You still have like more tech, and you tend to get hydrogen with this anyway. So it's kind of like evolved into a standard build. It's probably not the most economic thing that Zerg can do, but it's probably the safest thing they can do. It's actually kind of ironic because like standard Terran versus Zerg actually ends up being like mass bio, which is actually a super hard counter to meatless. But as you guys can tell, it's 36 harvesters to 27 and not in VORti's favor. So again, that's kind of showing the influx in workers difference of build orders, and that's the difference between that he's continuing to produce SCVs, which he's not doing right now. But he's getting its starport with control tower, which I was actually pondering there for a minute. I was like, is he going like dropship or something? No, he's just going science facility. So we do have a fair amount of Hydra coming out. That is going to be the amount of Hydra that are on map, which isn't going to be guaranteed the amount that are in this control group, but about 25. Can be the rough estimate, as it's probably going to be 1 or 2, like probably like 5 maybe that are like trailing behind. All right, so here we go. Will this actually work? That will actually be the question because, well, I've never actually seen Hydra just purely against mech. You don't normally go Hydra in this matchup, but well, he's going to be able to close the distance, and it's that wasn't. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's kind of working. It's just such a bizarre, like, unit comp to go against. Oh, I mean, well, there's the S.20. He didn't really have too much. He even just scanned just to see what he had left. You know, just like I said, it was a very interesting and different kind of build that, or like unit comp again, that I just didn't know. So I guess the one thing I can say that I will put this as 1-1 because it's the only logical explanation why this is Fighting Spirit and not Bloody Ridge, and I just have to put 1-1 together, to be completely honest. Okay, but that game, I think what VORti had intended to do was go 3-hatch meatless. And again, I guess you could say it's all in. You know, again, it's all in as 2-hatch meatless, but it is kind of like a cheesy strat because you're committing so much to meatless, which aren't really like, they're not like an army. If you get what I'm saying, you can't, like, if you got like 50 meatless, like, they're not gonna do great against like 50 Marines. It just doesn't work. And not to mention you have to have insane control to even do that. They're kind of like a specific, they're like a utility unit, if that makes sense to you. Harassment, you know, that kind of thing. The mobile unit that can do a lot of harassment, you know, attacking from different angles and stuff like that. Not like a army, like a meaty army that what Terran tends to have. And not to say the Zerg can't have that. It's just that's what Zerg has been opening with, and it's not a bad strategy. The problem though is that you tend the meta. It's kind of what this matchup is for the opening stages at least. Is Zerg gets early map controlled lings, then they just tech to 3-hatch meatless, and then they buy enough time with the harassment of meatless that are out. That are out. They stall for time. If a bio push comes, they put in Sunkens. They drone up, and then they tech to Lurker, and then they take up. Then it goes on from there. But here, what we saw is like we always said that Goliath transition, which again Goliath like are a decent unit against. They don't do their full. Are a decent unit against meatless. They don't do their full damage to meatless. They do half. But when you have like 15 of them, meatless tend to do really crappy against them. Again, they're not like a strict hard counter, but they are good, and we saw like a commitment to them. Now, oddly enough, though, but that mech transition thing kind of the mech style kind of worked because I don't think VORti was looking for that. I think he was thinking more of a bio, and mech is a different way to defend against. I think Vorti could have stayed in the game, and I think he maybe even won if he didn't go for that push. That push really didn't really go in any kind of favor of himself. He kind of teched to Hydra, and it's like, I'm going to go all in at this point. I don't think he had to do that. I don't think Terran would have moved out. I could be completely wrong. I'm just going out on a limb and saying that. Mech tends to want to build up a little bit, get those upgrades going, and stuff like that. Here, like, Ling probably wouldn't be terrible. Goliath 10 aren't terrible against Lings in general, but if you get enough of them, it's not bad. Then you get the Ling. Ling and Lurker would eventually work, and Dark Swarm would just wreck Mech. It just absolutely wrecks Mech. So, I mean, you could have gone for, like, early Hive. I think that Hydra mix just didn't work out well, and it kind of just showed that it wasn't great. But anyway, I believe he won game 1, so we're going to an ace match of all I can say. But again, I don't have that replay. I wish I could cast it. I don't know. But logically speaking, what this has turned into is that game 1 has been bloody rich. And that's this entire, this week of replays, like Division A qualifiers, semifinals, is bloody rich. Game 2 is Fighting Spirit. I mean, I haven't seen anything else other than Fighting Spirit, which I thought was like, oh, it's not a bad map to choose, but I guess it's just a theme map to play on. Number 3 is Python, which is the next map. And I think we had like one other best of 3, and that went on Python as well. So what can I tell you? It's just turned out like that. There are tournaments that do loser picks. There are tournaments that just have a preset map choice. Like GSTL, Global StarCraft Team League, that is StarCraft 2, but again, just tournament referencing here. That is like loser picks map, but out of a map pool, that you can't choose any kind of map, but you only can choose it once. It's kind of like that, or you go to the Shimmy playlist, the Shimmy show match series or whatever, season 1 or whatever. That's like top of the line players. But anyway, talking about that. It's a best of 7, but of course they don't. It's not like this where they just play the best of 7 anyway, even if Vorti won 4-0 in the best of 7. But anyway, it's like the map tier is like down a certain list, so even if like game 6 will be always played on this map, I think that's how it's just played on this. But I think I've talked a little bit too long again. We'll just go on to the next series, guys, and I will be very interested who wins. Guys, thanks for watching again, and peace. And make sure you thumbs up, and subscribe if you like our videos. My videos, or our videos.